Hello, and welcome to Business Focus, produced by the Greater Reston Chamber of Commerce. My name is Angela Inzerillo of Impact Business Solutions, and I'm privileged to be your host as we highlight the great work our local businesses are doing in the community. First up, Mr. Charles Kapoor, the President and CEO of the Reston Chamber, is going to be speaking today more about the Inspire Education Foundation and a new and exciting program called the Bizmaker Grant Program. So you're definitely going to want to hear about that. Second up, we'll be speaking with Lisa Berretta, who is the chair of the Chamber's Community and Engagement Council. You're going to want to hear all about the work that those guys are doing and possibly get involved. So definitely stick around. And last but certainly not least is one of my good friends, Miss Nicole Malone of Dark Horse Nutrition. She's the owner, she's a new member, and she's doing some great things in the community. Let's go speak with them. So for my first guest, please welcome the chairman and CEO of the Greater Reston Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Charles Kapoor, here to talk today about the Inspire Education Foundation. Charles, welcome.
Thank you, Angela. I appreciate the opportunity to talk a little Inspire with you today.
Yeah, it is very, very exciting. And I'm especially excited to be a part of the board and leading the organization. So thank you for being here, though, and sharing it. I think a lot of people are not familiar what Inspire is about and what we're doing and some of the exciting programming they've done in the past and obviously in the future. So why don't you first at a high level share what Inspire is?
Sure. Yeah, Inspire, for those that are unfamiliar with the name, is the 501c3 education foundation for the Chamber. It's our subsidiary education foundation. The primary mission of Inspire has always been to support growing and developing entrepreneurs in Fairfax County. And over the years, how we do that has changed, but that has been the goal of Inspire from day one.
Yeah, it's been ever since I started with the Chamber and got involved in business education and learned about what Inspire has done. It's been great to be a part of and learning more and contributing more to it. So from a history standpoint, how long has Inspire existed, and maybe highlight some of the biggest accomplishments over the years?
Sure. So we launched Inspire right at the turn of the century. 2000s.
Now you're dating us, turn of the century.
I know, right?
I used that in a long time.
Yeah, we're at that point where we can still live to say we remember Y2K, and it was right around that Y2K, the early late 90s, early 2000s, just coming out of the .com era. For those that remember that, and if you don't, look at a history book or video.
Internet, search the internet. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. That's where it all began.
Yeah.
But originally, the idea behind Inspire, we were a business incubator. We were an incubator mentoring program, primarily a lot of those .comers. And it was a very successful program. Within the first decade that after we launched Inspire, in those first 10 years, we graduated entrepreneurs through our programming that went on to create over 750 jobs. They raised $5 million of new business equity, and they secured over 100,000 square feet of commercial space. So hugely successful, some great entrepreneurs, some great businesses that went on to be really well-established companies here in Fairfax County. Then in 2016, we shifted away from that in-house incubation program to focus on education and mentoring. And that same year, we launched our Rob Ranson education program. That was an initiative where we took local area educators and business professionals to run a year-long curriculum that all focused on growth stage businesses, so a little bit past startup phase, and were designed to help them go to the next level in their leadership skills and really learning how to grow and scale their business operation. So in that first year, that was a successful program. We ran 2 cohorts, nearly 24 local businesses that all went through the program, raved about the program, and many of them are great representatives here at the Chamber to this day.
Yeah, and I always say, you always have a little bit of startup in you. So, or you go back to it. We work with a lot of organizations that have been in business 15, 20 plus years, and it's sometimes always going back to some of the basics. And I know that programming was hugely valuable for those cohorts. Well, I'm especially excited for some of the newer programming that we're looking at in this year. So I know a little bit came about with some of the existing board members and now our growing board. But why don't we share a little bit about the mission of Inkspire this year, and specifically what we're really excited about is the Bizmaker grant program.
Absolutely. And I have to say, it's been so exciting to see what this next phase of Inkspire is going to be. We've been blessed to have some folks that have been part of the Inkspire leadership for many, many years that will continue on. And very happy to say, as you mentioned at the top, Angela, to have you leading this initiative as our Inkspire board chair, and through your leadership, been able to bring in some new faces to the leadership role. And so the blend of history and some fresh voices are really exciting for what Inkspire is going to bring to the business community in the years ahead. As far as the mission of Inkspire, that has continued to evolve just as our programming has. We've always been in a position to want to react and respond to what our business community really needs and fit in as best as we can, given the changing landscape of resources that companies have available to them. So we talked about, we've sunsetted that in-house incubation program, the more formalized education curriculum. And now the new initiative is our Bizmaker grant program, which we really feel represents the best use of our resources in our community. Because at the end of the day, what the Bizmaker grant program is going to do, it's going to allow us to leverage the Chamber's fundraising abilities and our access to a cadre of talented business professionals who are willing to provide pro bono mentoring services to these businesses that we want to serve, those same growth stage entrepreneurs who are looking to add jobs, add equity to the Fairfax County business community.
Yeah, and I think that cadre of business owners who have been through it can lend to what we do well as a chamber and as well as business owners, right? So that advisory services, the mentorship, as well as all those connections that really help you, to grow your business and scale it.
Sure. You don't have to look any further than to your next chamber event that you come to, and you just realize that the chamber has some great community leaders who are willing to work with other businesses to make them as successful as possible. It's been our calling card, so why not leverage those resources and those skill sets to the Inkspire program? Specifically, what the Bizmaker grant program is, it's a program that it will allow applicants to submit an idea for an innovative product, design, service that they feel will add value to our local business community. All of those applications will be evaluated by a panel of business leaders, and the top submissions will receive grant awards. So really excited about the impact that we in this program will have to the most prominent of applicants who submit their ideas to us.
Yeah, and thanks to our sponsors, our current sponsors who are helping fund the grant program itself and the awards. So the awardees are going to get a combination of funds as well as these advisory services over a period of time. We're looking for about 12 months at least. And I think the top prize, we're talking about $15,000. And thank you to our Leidos friends, as well as our Microsoft friends and our other sponsors for contributing the dollars. And Google is up there as well.
We've for a brand new program, we're so blessed with the immediate positive reaction that our business community has. You mentioned Leidos, Microsoft, Google, M&T Bank, Fairfax County Economic Development Authority have all been willing to participate and help fund the program. You mentioned the top prize, $15,000 for a year one program. We're really proud to do that. We've not been in a position to offer a grant of that size to date. I can also confirm that second place will be a $10,000 cash prize. So, and then you mentioned the mentoring program. So not only will we just say, here's a check, here's some funds, go off and bear fruit, but we want to make sure that those awardees are really set up for the to be in the best position to be successful with the grant prizes that they're awarded. So they will be part of the Inspire mentorship program. So what that means is that we will partner them with an experienced Inspire mentor who will sit down and collaborate with that business owner and taking a look at what they want to do with that grant prize. What are the professional services and resources that may not be as well utilized currently in their business operations that they need to get them there to really make sure that a year from now, it wasn't money that was ill spent or ill invested. And so that Inspire mentor will then again leverage all those great resources.
Yep.
That we know through the chamber to say, here, meet with these folks, whether it's accounting, legal services, marketing, design, whatever that is, we'll get them the person who's willing to provide some time, through a series of meetings over the course of a year to get them on that right track. And then a year from now, we can look back at what they did with that grant prize and say, wow, look at that. They were able to add jobs. They were able to grow their revenue, maybe take up more commercial space in the county. All of those are going to be markers of a successful program.
Well, you can understand why when I got the call from Charles, I immediately jumped in. So I'm really excited to be a part of that. And as we wrap up here, we'll just put on the screen how people can apply and learn more about the program, inspire.net. And if you've got any questions, obviously you can reach out to the chamber and we can share more about it. So we're taking applications through the summer and then hope to have a decision early fall and then an little awardee program and then get started early next year. So Charles, as always, great to see you and thank you for being here. I usually say, I can't wait to see you finally and give you a hug, but I've done that. And so I will look forward to doing that again very, very soon. So thank you for all you and your staff and the chamber does for our community and the business. Certainly I have benefited both professionally and personally, and I want to thank you. So thanks for being here. So for my next guest, please welcome Lisa Berretta, Account Manager Membership at the American College of Radiology and our fabulous new chair of the Reston Chamber's Community Engagement Council. Lisa, welcome.
Thanks, Angela.
It is so great to see you and the beautiful Reston flowers behind you.
Yes, these are beautiful flowers from Reston Town Center.
That you took a picture of. I love it. That's what we all need to be doing. Well, anyway, I'm in the town center here, as you can see. So we're near each other. Hey, listen, thanks for being on the show today. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to learn more about the Community Engagement Council and all the great things that you guys have been doing. But why don't you share with us a little bit more about American College of Radiology? I didn't know this organization existed, so I'm excited to learn a little bit more.
Sure. The American College of Radiology, or ACR for short, represents 41,000 radiologists, nuclear medicine physicians, and medical physicists. It's what's called a membership-based organization with its core functional areas of advocacy, economics, education, quality and safety, research, and membership value. And all are designed to improve, promote, and protect the practice of radiology. The ACR is very focused on quality and safety. And when you see the ACR Gold Seal at radiology facilities, you can be assured that your prescribed imaging test will meet the highest level of imaging quality and radiation safety.
Good to know. I was getting my mammogram last week. I should have checked for that seal, but that's now I'm going to see it everywhere at the doctor. So everybody check that for the stamp of approval.
Great. There are 400 employees based in the Reston office, which is ACR headquarters, with smaller offices in DC, Silver Spring, Maryland, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Tying into the Community Engagement Council, though, the ACR's volunteer program, ACR Cares, encourages employees to lend their time and skills in service to their community.
That's awesome. I mean, the larger organizations that are members of the chamber, I mean, even the small ones do volunteer, but I think the larger organizations, that's critical, to give back to the community. So how long have you been with ACR?
I've been with ACR for almost 2 years now, and as an account manager in the membership department, helped to manage the membership and engagement of the larger medical group practices. I also serve as the company representative to the Reston Chamber.
Yay! So I'm excited to talk a little bit more about community engagement and share it with our audience. So how long have you been a member of the council, and why did you decide to lead it and share it?
Sure. Well, I joined the Community Engagement Council in March of 2020. So I only had one in-person meeting before the pandemic.
Oh, no.
And but through then we've, worked virtually. And really throughout my life, I've always been involved in volunteering, and having worked for different associations in my career, I've served as the staff liaison to a lot of different committees and councils. And I see this council as such a great opportunity to bring the nonprofits and other businesses together. It's so important for the nonprofits to become more visible, and for employees, Reston businesses, to give back and or get involved in the community.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. And I think that's so important. So thank you for your service and taking charge. So what is the mission of the council?
The mission of the Community Engagement Council is that it works to support businesses and nonprofits by catalyzing collaborative partnerships, and promotes volunteerism and philanthropy to build success and contribute to local community building initiatives.
Did you guys work on that? That was a good mission statement. That was perfect. Well done. But
yes,
it's
that was
true.
done during one of our first calls.
Yeah, and I think that's really important. And you had a lot. I mean, the collaboration, I think, is, as we stated earlier, really important focus for the council. So what have you guys, I know you said you kind of started just before the pandemic. So what have you been up to? Because you kept active even during the pandemic remotely, right?
Yes, we did. And we all have become, pretty good on these video calls, and we're still able to collaborate together. We've determined a number of ways that the nonprofits can get their names out there. This includes highlighting a nonprofit at the Chamber's monthly net nights. Nice. And having a representative from that organization speak. That was started at the July event, and that'll be going forward each month.
That's great.
Yeah, it really is. And nonprofit members can also attend other Chamber, council, committee, and lead share meetings as a guest. And they could also be a spotlight speaker in the business education series. So plenty of opportunity to really be able to talk to your
and
fellow
being visible
members.
being visible is critical, so that people really understand the work that people are doing and how it's all working together, because it's all about awareness. So what are your plans then going into the rest of this year?
Well, also one of the things, so other businesses can know what volunteer opportunities are available. We've been in touch with all the nonprofit members and sent them instructions on how to update their member profiles on the Chamber website to add in volunteer opportunities. And this in turn can be a way for businesses to view what volunteer opportunities are available that they can suggest to their staff.
That's awesome.
We also plan to do a webinar in October on corporate purpose and community engagement. This will actually be on October 21st. The focus will be on how to create a corporate purpose as well as current outreach programs, really discuss what community engagement means to businesses.
Is that going to be a virtual event or probably hybrid, right?
The webinar is going to be just a virtual.
So I didn't hear that. Yeah. So it's a webinar.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have a panel of businesses and some nonprofits and associations. Oh, exactly. Well, that's great.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Well, I'm so glad you were able to be here today and share what the council is doing. What's the best way for our audience to learn more about the council and to get engaged?
The best way is any chamber member is invited to join and attend the meetings, which are now, the meetings themselves are going to be hybrid. So anybody that wants to come into the Reston Chamber office can do so, or join via Zoom on the third Thursdays of the month at 9 a.m. And anyone interested in joining can reach out to Sharon Slavin at the Chamber. She's the Director of Membership Development.
Oh, great. And they can also check out on the Chamber's website, and we'll have the link up here so that they can get in touch and learn a little bit more. And if they have any questions, I'm sure they can reach out to you. Your contact information is also on the website. Well, Lisa, Absolutely. Time has flown as it always does. I want to thank you again for being here and sharing what you guys are doing. And just, like I said, taking the time and taking the opportunity to lead the group and, provide this great vision. So thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Appreciate you inviting me to be here.
Yeah, my pleasure. We'll see you again soon.
Great. Thank you.
So please welcome my next guest, Miss Nicole Malone, owner of Dark Horse Nutrition and one of my most favorite and newest members of the Reston Chamber. Nicole, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to talk to you today.
Yeah, it's great to have you finally. Well, you do this all the time. So how is it feeling being on the other end of the microphone?
I want to take control over the conversation, so I will try not to hijack your show here. I apologize in advance.
Well, you might see Nicole as the new host of Business Focus at some point in the future. So for now, though, why don't you, yes, you are the guest and I am in control. So why don't you share a little bit about your background and why you chose to start your lovely business, Dark Horse Nutrition?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am a certified nutrition coach, and I started the business because I went through my own weight loss journey, transformation. So throughout my life, I've always been an athlete. I was active duty military, a cop. And as soon as I got out of the military, my bad habits kind of
took over,
creeped up on me. Yeah, I kind of took over. I couldn't outwork a bad diet. So make a long story short, when I was a kid, my brother passed away and I never went through the grief process. So when I got out of the military and I lost all that structure, I really then realized how much that really affected me throughout my entire life. So on my wedding day in 2015, I would venture to say I was probably about 50 pounds overweight. I was not happy. I did not like how I looked. I was just the heaviest I've ever been, the unhappiest I've ever been physically, emotionally, mentally. So it was at that moment I knew something had to change. So I did seek therapy a couple years later. It took me a while to, get up the guts to pull the trigger on that.
Yeah,
but
it's really hard.
I did seek therapy for my emotional health. I went through the grief process. And it was through that experience that I realized no matter what you do in the gym, no matter what you do in the kitchen, you're never going to make lasting change until you really focus on the underlying causes of your unhealthy habits, your unhealthy relationship with food, your inability to keep the weight off. So I decided to go into nutrition because I can work with women, specifically women needing to lose 50 pounds on a deeper level to help them achieve the results you're looking for and to come out on the other side successful.
Well, it's a hard journey and it's hard to do alone. So this is so fabulous. You're like perfect for this. So what exactly do you do with these mostly women? I mean, I know you could probably help anyone, but it's good that you have a specific focus of, your ideal clients. So what do you do with them?
Yeah, so typically what I do is, of course, I'm nutrition first, right? I'm a nutrition coach. So outside of nutrition education and knowledge, I really focus on those underlying issues that I just talked about. So I really work on their mindset and emotion around food. I work on behavior change and lifestyle change specifically. So
one of her cats, was that Fred or Wilma?
That was Wilma. She always has to make an appearance. But so I really focus with them on how they see food, how they use food, change their thinking around food, because a lot of people are confused and frustrated and afraid to eat. And use food as a comfort or alcohol as a comfort as their therapist. So I work with them to instill healthier habits and healthier behavior options that don't involve food, and to help them regain control over food and not have food control them.
So it's like a better relationship with food and their diet and eating habits. So what do you think the biggest challenges are that we face? I mean, we face from a specific challenge perspective, what do you see them battling with the most?
Emotional eating. So I'm of the belief that inherently we're all emotional eaters to some extent.
Sure.
The clientele I work with, the 50 plus pounds, their emotional eating is, a level or two above, where the vast majority of us are. So it's really focusing on, like I said, using food as fuel and what their body needs to function optimally, rather than using food to provide them comfort. So seeking alternatives. Right. Like for me personally, I go to the gym. Yep. So for me, gym is an outlet. So it's working with the client to find that same outlet for them. And it may not be working out at all. It may just be reading. But it's finding a healthier alternative to dealing with those emotions that don't involve food.
So it's really important. I was going to say, I mean, we talked about your ideal client being a female or a woman 50 pounds overweight that has these deeper emotional challenges. So how do you work with them specifically? I know that people need to be held accountable, but you're also training them. So a little bit more about how you work with your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. So outside of looking at their food journal, of course, and talking,
hey, it's really important. Yeah, I mean, tracking, as you know, is important.
Yeah, because it holds them accountable too.
Right,
and
right.
You may think you eat healthy and good quality food, but when you see it in writing, it's habitual a lot of times, the things that you're eating. So what I do is if they're struggling, like for example, I have a client with a sugar addiction and binge eating tendencies. So I work on the emotion to find triggers and to find patterns. So I have them log the emotional eating journal. So how are you feeling leading up to this meal? How do you feel while you're eating? How do you feel after? So this works on their relationship with food, right? And it shows you what your triggers are, what your patterns are. So if you have a stressful day and you're noticing that on all your stressful days, you tend to eat these types of foods, then we can start addressing those areas. So it's really triaging what's going on underneath the surface on why they're doing the things they're doing.
Yeah, it's like in business, we work with business owners and, we've worked with you a little bit. And with regards to tracking and accountability, those are the two biggest. So you really can't make any changes unless you have the data. So I think that tracking is huge, and you holding them accountable and understanding the training and making them aware, it is huge. So just real quick before we wrap up and tell people I get in touch with you, why'd you join the chamber? I'm so glad you did. But what made you join the Reston chamber?
Yeah, so I launched my business during COVID, right? So COVID baby. And I was doing CrossFit at the time, and my chiropractor joined the chamber. At the time, he lives in Herndon. So at the time, I thought he joined the Reston chamber. So I joined the Reston chamber. He told me how it's helped his business grow and explained a little bit about what a chamber of commerce is. He ended up joining Loudon, so he's actually not a Reston chamber member.
But see,
so he got me to join the wrong chamber.
But it's actually the right chamber.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a recommendation off of him, and I'm so glad I did. It's great connections like Angela here, and it's just a great group of people, and I've definitely enjoyed my experience. I just renewed my membership, so.
Awesome. Well, I mean, I make fun. Loudon is a great chamber and as well. And just being involved more in the community. So you're making friends. There's so many valuable aspects of being a member of the Chamber of Commerce. Well, great. Well, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you, Miss Nicole?
Yeah, if you just visit my website at darkhorse-nutrition.com, there is a contact me button as well as buttons to all of my social media. So drop me a follow, drop me a like.
Definitely check her out on Facebook. She always is doing podcasts, a Friday nutrition nugget, as I call it. But there's a bunch of valuable information and downloads. So definitely get in touch with Nicole. Great. It's so fabulous to see you, as always. Thanks for being here and being my special guest. And I can't wait to see you soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was tons of fun.
Yeah, where we'll eat carrots and hummus and drink wine. There you go.
And beer.
Yes. And beer. Oh, right, beer. All right, Nicole, take care. I'll see you soon.
All right, see ya. Bye.